What's happening, y'all? Let's move these out of the way. Yeah, okay. What's up, man? My crazy little life. So, last time we talked, the last video I made was, I had a chest day with my girlfriend. She came down for the weekend. Right after that was kind of around the time, was around Christmas time. And I got sick right after that. So I got sick for about 4 or 5 days, I think. I had the stomach flu. And then I got a cold immediately after that, because it snowed, 8 inches here where I'm at. So I've been still recovering from being sick. You can kind of hear it in my voice. I'm just a little bit still clogged up. But today I wanted to put y'all on some free game. I wanted to show y'all something that, not a lot of people in the fitness industry, they're not gonna teach you how to actually do this for yourself. So I'm gonna show you guys something, and this is just my way on how to make this, but I'm gonna teach you how to make a basic meal plan for yourself. This is for people who are kind of new to the fitness game and they wanna make themselves a meal plan for when it comes to their bulking, if they're trying to gain some muscle, or if they're trying to cut down weight and they want to cut the calories down. My advice would be during those times to try to keep your diet strict and eat those whole foods. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I cannot give recommendations on certain meal plans. I'm not even a dietitian. However, I am a bodybuilder, so I do come up with my own meal regimens. And this is just my basic way on how I do this. So I wanted to map this out for you and kind of help those who have no idea on how to make their own meal plan. That way you can try to start making your own if you were looking to do that. But I had some things written down in my journal here. I just wanted to go over it. It's some quick bullet points, and I'm gonna try to walk through exactly how I make my own meal plan. First, you want to determine your goal, okay? Everybody has to have a goal when it comes to fitness, okay? So whether your goal is to build up as much muscle as you possibly can, whether your goal is to squat 500 pounds, whether your goal is to lose 50 pounds, whether your goal is to maintain what you have now and just get a little bit more muscular, or your goal could be, I want to compete in a CrossFit competition or a bodybuilding competition, etc. You have to determine what your goal is, okay? So in this case, I like to break it down into just 3 simple categories, okay? You're either going to be in a calorie surplus, you're gonna be maintenance, or calorie deficit. So you either want to gain weight, maintain your weight, or lose weight. You got to determine whether or not, which one of those 3, you got to determine which one of those 3 things that you want to do. So that's how you determine your goal. Okay, so for this case, for this example of me walking you through how to do a meal plan, our goal is gonna be to maintain, okay? Now, right now, the month that I'm in, for the whole month of January, since I had gotten sick, I have to get back to eating my maintenance calories. I'm doing some sort of reverse diet right now to get back to my maintenance, and then I'm gonna try to eat my maintenance for a couple of weeks, and starting in February, I'm gonna start to increase my calories slightly. Just so I can get back into my routine of my off-season bulk, which is what I'm looking to do. I just got thrown off from being sick. So right now I'm in maintenance, so we're gonna use maintenance as our example today. So the next thing that you wanna do is establish your calorie intake using a calorie calculator, okay? So you can look online, you can search up calorie calculator, you can search up caloric intake calculator, etc. And there should be a calculator, and what you'll do is you'll plug in your information. So it'll ask you your height, your weight, your age, and I think your activity levels. Okay, so for myself, I'm about to be 25 in literally like 3 weeks. So I just put 25 on there. I'm 5'11". I'm 185 pounds right now. And yeah, and my activity levels, I think for the calculator that I had just used, I put 6 to 7 days of intense exercise, because I do now work out 6 days a week. So that was that. And my maintenance for this example would be 3,185 calories. Okay. Now, when you determine it based off what your goal would be, okay, if you're looking to just lose a little bit of weight, or if you're looking to lose a lot of weight, okay, mostly for most individuals, how I like to determine this, based off of what my goal would be, there's basically 3 different measurements as to how you can go through this. You can either do plus or minus half a pound every week, plus or minus a pound every week, or plus or minus 2 pounds every week. That's really like the healthy range of where it's supposed to be. So once you establish that, okay, you'll either have if you are trying to lose weight, you would either subtract 250 calories from what your maintenance caloric intake would be, or sometimes 500 calories for your caloric intake, okay? Or from your caloric intake. Same thing if you're trying to gain weight. It'll be plus 250 calories or plus 500 calories, depending on whether or not you want to lose a half a pound, or 2 pounds every single week, okay? Now, for some individuals who are athletes, or they have other goals in mind outside of the healthy range, like let's say you're trying to go into an extreme off season as a bodybuilder. For myself, my goal for this year is to do a plus of 1,000 calories, a surplus of 1,000 calories. So my goal is to consistently eat around 4,100 calories, maybe 4,200 calories, depending on what it's looking like. But those are in extreme cases, okay? Some athletes have different goals based off of what their performance is, okay? So do keep that in mind. But if you are basically just someone trying to get into the fitness game and you're looking for like the healthy ranges, I would stay in between that 250 to 500 calorie surplus, okay? Or deficit, depending on what your goal is, all right? But again, for right now, we're gonna use my example as maintenance. So my maintenance is 3,185, okay? All right, so now you wanna map out your macros, all right? So you gotta think about what are the macros. You got your proteins, you got your carbohydrates, you got your fats, and I like to add fiber in there just because fiber is very important in those macronutrient measurements, okay? So protein is, when I think about my meal plan, protein is my #1 priority. Carb is my second priority. Fat is another one, and fiber is another one. However, protein is the #1 thing that I want to make sure I'm getting in my diet, okay? So I like to go by the rule of 1 gram of protein for every pound of your target body weight. Now, this is the rule that I use for most individuals who are athletes or bodybuilders, etc. Now, for healthy ranges, you'll hear your protein intake should be 1 pound, or 1.2 to 2 pounds for every kilogram of body weight that you have. Okay, so that's for the healthy ranges. Now, for myself, as a bodybuilder, as someone who's in fitness, I like to use the rule of 1 pound for every, or one gram of protein for every pound of body weight that you have. So, or your target body weight. So my target is to get up to around 200 pounds. So right now I'm eating around 200 grams of protein, okay? So for, whatever your target body weight is, as a healthy bodybuilder, that's what my goal would be. Now, it could be different for those who are overweight or maybe underweight, etc. But you can use either the 1.2 to 2 grams of protein for every kilogram of body weight, or you can use the 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight. We're gonna do fats first, and your fat is supposed to be 15 to 20% of your caloric intake. So in this case, with my caloric intake being 3185, I'm supposed to eat around 50 grams to 70 grams of fat, okay? I will say if you're trying to gain weight on a bulk, fats might benefit you more than if you were in a caloric deficit, okay? You might wanna lower your fat intake a little bit, okay? But that's just me. That's what I do when I'm determining my own meal plan, okay? And the last two categories I want to cover is your carbohydrates. And your carbohydrates are supposed to be 60% of your caloric intake. So in this case, it would be 200 to 250 grams of carbs. I'm eating 200 to 250 grams of carbs with my 3185 caloric intake. Again, for those who are athletes, those who are bodybuilders, those who have different goals based off of their performance, your carbohydrate intake might be a little bit more or less based off of what you have. So when I'm in a off-season bulk, I will say this: I don't really use the 60%. I like to map out my proteins first. I'll map out how many carbs that I need. I figure out how many calories each one of those would be, splitting them up within my meals. And whatever is left over on the caloric intake, I'll use that to eat those carbs. Okay, so let's say I have, let's say I'm eating 4,000 calories, and I'm just gonna throw out some numbers here. I'm eating 4,000 calories, and after determining how much protein I need, how much fat I need, I've used up 2,000 calories out of that 4,000 calories. So the rest of the 2,000 calories that I'm gonna be eating for the rest of the day, I'll use that with carbs, okay? So then I'll split that up into 5 meals, and I'll determine how many calories that I will need each meal. So yeah, you can kind of do the math from there, okay? Last one is fiber, okay? Fiber is really, really, really important. This is gonna come in those vegetables, and if you have fruits in your diet, that's what that's gonna come to as well. You could also take a fiber gummy if that's what you would like to do. But for women, you're supposed to have at least 25 grams of fiber a day, and for men, it's around 30. I would say gaining weight, this is extremely important, making sure that you're getting that fiber in. Because if you're not using the restroom, you're not benefiting your body at all. All right, so yeah. And really after mapping all of that out and kind of seeing the numbers and what you need in your diet, now it's like to do something now it's time for us to do something that I like to call plug and chug, okay? So think about the specific foods that you like, okay? Whether that's, if you like rice, if you like chicken, if you like beef, I like bison, if you like salmon, if whatever it is, you like fruits, vegetables, all of that. Figure out how many calories are in each serving of whatever food that is, and now it's your turn to mix and match those specific meals. So I like to keep my meals pretty basic. I like to eat whole foods. In the morning, I like to eat my eggs, avocado, oatmeal. I have a coffee in the morning, and I like to have some sort of fruit with that meal. That's a certain amount of calories. Each one in the eggs has a certain amount of macros. That meal has a certain amount of calories. There's a certain amount of macros in that meal. And now it's time for me to map that out and figure out how many calories or what are the macros and what do I need for that meal. So again, like I said, I like to eat bison. So if I want to plug bison in one or two of those meals, I need to do that. And I can put that in, let's say, meal 2 and meal 5, okay? Now I need to figure out how much protein I need, how many servings of bison do I need. If I'm gonna get another meal in for meal 3 and meal 4, what are that protein, what is that gonna look like? Same thing with the carbs, same thing with the fat, and same thing with the fiber as well, okay? So we're gonna plug and chug, and you're gonna mix and match certain items and figure out what you want within those meals. Now, this is for me, now for me, this is a very easy way to manipulate my nutrition, okay? As someone who's trying to learn how to be better within his own fitness journey so I can teach others, this is the technique that I use in order to determine my my meal plan. And I just wanted to kind of show some of you guys, you know, how easy it can be. Now, it will take you maybe some time. It could take about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that, just to map this out. But essentially, that is the goal, okay? Now, that is the goal. The goal is for you to have a specific meal plan that is customized to your goals. And it only would benefit you more if you knew how to do it for yourself, okay? Now, I'm not knocking any coaches. I think coaches are great. I think a lot of coaches out there, they help people with meal plans, and they establish a meal plan for their clientele, and I think it works perfectly fine. I'm thinking about getting myself a coach, okay? However, it also would benefit a lot of people if they knew how to do this themselves. So I just wanted to put you guys on some free game. But again, this is not for everybody. Most athletes have more advanced meal plans. Again, like I said, I know for myself, when it comes to me being in season, I don't really go by these rules, especially when I'm in prep. Now, I might at the very beginning, but based off of how I'm looking and the other things that I have to do and how far I am along in prep, I'm not necessarily going to always follow this, because if my maintenance calories is this high and I need to lose a certain amount of weight, I'm going to probably go a little bit lower than 500 calories. So it just depends on what your goal is. Again, you need to determine and figure that out. This has been the routine that I've been using for the past 3 years, and it's worked very well. As you can see, my physique is transformed. I would say food is about 60 to 70%. Now I say around 60%. Yeah, your food is around 60% of improving your physique. It's about 60% of the journey. Yeah. So if you're looking to transform your body, going to the gym's not going to be enough. And if someone tells you, oh, you just got to eat more, that's not going to be enough. Or you just need to cut out certain things, that's not going to be enough. Food and being strict on your food is really the only way that you're going to transform yourself. And your physique. I've been working out since I was in, I think I started actually lifting weights at like 11, but I wasn't really eating at all. And I didn't start eating until I was like 22 almost, like for real. I would just eat when I was hungry, and I'm naturally like a small person. I don't normally need to eat a lot of food, and I was taught not to force myself to eat, because that can create unhealthy habits at a young age. So when I was 11, 12, 13, I was in high school and my early years in college, I would only eat 3 meals a day, and they would be enough to, maybe 3 meals a day in a snack or something. And that would be enough to kind of get me through my day, and I wouldn't be hungry. But looking back at it, I know now that based off of where I wanted to be at, that wasn't enough to get me there. It might have been enough at the time to keep me where I was, but if I wanted to actually really transform my body and actually gain a substantial amount of muscle, I knew that I needed to map out a meal plan. And that's exactly what I did. So when I started my fitness journey, I made my own meal plan, and I realized how much food I really needed to eat in order for me to actually gain some serious muscle. And I remember that first summer, it was terrible. It was my first time ever eating 5 meals a day. It was awful. I was eating a lot of food, especially for my size. I started at 155, and just eating my maintenance alone was hard, let alone putting myself into a bulk of eating a surplus of, at the time I think it was only 500 calories. It was a lot of food. And I just remember I hated eating for almost a full year because of how awful it was. But I got used to it after a while, and I started to see some serious change in my physique very fast. And I gained, I think, 30 pounds of newbie gains. I got up to 180. It was 25 pounds of newbie gains. So I got up to like 180 that first summer after eating all that food. And then I just kept that going, and I just tried to manipulate my own nutrition. And over time, I started to perfect not only my fitness, but my bodybuilding as well. So now I'm at the point to where I'm trying to teach people how to do the same things that I learned, because I feel like the things that I learned are very beneficial. And yeah, so that's all I wanted to do. Again, I just wanted to give you guys some free game. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. That's the last thing. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Since I guess TikTok is supposed to be banned in the next couple of days or so, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the video, subscribe. I'm gonna be posting really strictly on Instagram and TikTok, I'm gonna basically be posting strictly on Instagram and YouTube from now on. And my goal is for the new year is to try to focus on making more content, better quality content. So yeah, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the channel again, like the video again, and leave a comment as well. I appreciate everybody who's been watching my videos. My last video got more views than I've ever had in my life. So I appreciate everybody who watched that video, who liked the video. I'm doing what I'm doing, man. So yeah, visit the Linktree link, code FitLikeDev, all the apparel links that I have uploaded in there. But yeah, so let me know in the comments if you guys have any other things that you guys need help on, supplements, if you have any questions on certain exercises that I did to gain some muscle in certain areas of my body, maybe talk about my bodybuilding journey, etc. So if you have any questions about that, go ahead and shoot me a comment, or you can DM me on Instagram and I'll make a video from it. So, but yeah, man, so as always, I'm about to be out, man. I gotta finish this little coffee I got, and I got some church I want to listen to since it's Sunday. So, wow, that's so cold. Yeah, so as always, man, we be out. Deuces.